Swadika, welcome to ThaiPBS English News Service. Tonight you're with me, Rungtip Chodnaphalai. People from across Ayutthaya province have served their seats at Thung Makhamyong, an historic field in Ayutthaya province, to see His Majesty King Bhumibol Adulyadej, as His Majesty makes a personal visit there tomorrow to see the Monkey Shakes projects or gambling, which he personally initiated. Meanwhile, the governor of Ayutthaya has stepped up security across the province as well as prepared the place to welcome the king. Tomorrow's visit by the king will be His Royal Highness' first trip outside Bangkok in 2 years. People across the kingdom are delighted to see that their beloved king has recovered from his illness and is now able to travel once again. People continue to flood into Ayutthaya to reserve their seats to see their beloved king tomorrow. His Majesty plans to visit Thung Makhamyong as his royally initiated project for water retention is located there. The royal project for Thung Makhamyong water retention was started in 1991. The king has used an area of 200 rai as a water retention area, aiming to store the water for the local farmers in nearby areas during the drought season. During the 1995 flood, the king ordered the authorities to make excessive amount of water flow into Thung Makhamyong field to curb flood problems. During the last year flood, Thung Makhamyong field retained water to a depth of about 1.5 meters for 2 months, while this year Thung Makhamyong is prepared to retain water once again to prevent large amounts of water from flowing into Ayutthaya city. His Majesty Royal Project is a 5 example for dealing with large amounts of water in other areas of the country, especially after the severe floods which struck Thailand last year. Next week, Myanmar's pro-democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi plans to travel abroad for the first time in more than 2 decades to attend an economic forum here in Bangkok. Here's Hugh Adam with more.
The former political prisoner's plan to leave her homeland for the first time since 1988 is the latest sign of the dramatic political change sweeping through Myanmar following last year's end to decades of outright military rule. Suu Kyi was released from 7 straight years of house arrest in November 2010 and has now been issued with a passport enabling her to travel abroad for the first time in 24 years. Suu Kyi will arrive in Bangkok on May the 28th to attend the World Economic Forum on East Asia, being held in Bangkok from the 30th of May through to the 1st of June. Myanmar's President Thein Sein will also be attending the same economic forum. While no further details of her visit to Thailand are available yet, it is known that she plans to go to Europe, where she will address an International Labour Organization conference in Geneva on June the 14th. After that, she'll make a speech in Oslo on June the 16th to accept the Nobel Peace Prize she was awarded in 1991 for her peaceful struggle for democracy. The grand finale of her foreign tour will undoubtedly be her visit to Britain, where she lived for years with her family. She has been given the rare honour of personally addressing Britain's Parliament on June the 21st. Hugh Adams, ThaiPBS.
Thank you, Kun Hugh. Located at the center of ASEAN, Thailand is regarded as an ideal venue for the World Economic Forum on East Asia, which the country is privileged to host in less than a week from today. Here's more from Kun Bandit Ket Bandit.
Being described as a catalyst for action, initiatives and partnerships, the World Economic Forum, or WEF, on East Asia is a global gathering that brings together both thinkers and doers, while opening the door for mutual learning and essential conversations on investment and trade opportunities. The forum also allows Thailand to show to the world how it has recovered following last year's devastating floods, as well as demonstrating its attractiveness as an investment destination. The highlights of the forum focus on interactive discussions over ASEAN's integration and its role in the global economy. With the United States and the Eurozone facing prolonged economic difficulties, the cohesion of ASEAN as a single market and production base is proving to be ever more vital. Topics being discussed will touch upon food security, tourism, health services, information and communication technology, and energy. Furthermore, the forum will also address the region's setbacks, such as natural calamities and an aging population, and develop strategic plans to increase its resilience to risk in pursuit of sustainable growth. This significant event, which commences on May 30th and lasts until June 1st, will attract over 600 regional and global leaders from government and industry, including democratic icon Aung San Suu Kyi.
Thank you, Kun Bandit. Following the police seizure of 18 million baht from a robbery at the house of Supoj Saplom, then Permanent Secretary at the Transport Ministry, the National Anti-Corruption Commission or NACC today found Supoj Saplom to be unusually wealthy. Meanwhile, the Transport Minister stated that Supoj's case has not caused any delay to transport projects. Today, the National Anti-Corruption Commission or NACC found Supoj Saplom, a former permanent secretary at the Transport Minister, to be unusually wealthy. The NACC agreed by a majority that of 18 million baht seized by the police from the men suspected of robbing his house, only 560,000 baht could be accounted for as money received as part of his daughter's dowry. The NACC will forward the case to the Office of the Attorney General, requesting an order to seize the remaining of amount 17.5 million baht in cash and 10 baht weight in gold ornaments as state property. Supoj Saplom's house was broken into on November the 12th last year, the same night that he attended his daughter's wedding. Then some of the suspects were arrested and police seized 18 million baht in cash and 10 baht weight in gold ornaments. However, Supoj told the police that he lost 5 million baht in cash and 2 million baht was from his daughter's dowry. Mr. Supoj is still being investigated over the submission of an allegedly false declaration of his assets and liabilities to the NACC. Mr. Supoj resigned as Transport Permanent Secretary effective last Friday before the NACC's ruling. Meanwhile, the Transport Minister stated that the verdict on Supoj has not caused any delay to the Transport Ministry project since the Deputy Permanent Secretary was appointed Acting Permanent Secretary in November 2011. Parents of 10 junior high school students at Badindecha Singh Singha Seni School have expressed their intention to select one of the 13 schools which the investigation committee has provided. Still, the Anti-Corruption Network has gone ahead with a petition to the Department of Special Investigation to probe into the personal wealth of directors and related personnel of popular schools. The Anti-Corruption Network, together with the National Parents Network Association, have petitioned the Department of Special Investigation or DSI, demanding a probe into directors and related personnel of the most competitive schools for bribery relating to junior high and senior high school admissions. The DSI has been asked to inspect their personal wealth and financial transactions. The petitioners brought with them proof of the list of schools nationwide that demand parents' contributions ranging from 50,000 to 1.5 million baht. The proof also included a list of school students who failed to be admitted despite their good academic records. Parents of Suengulab Vithiyalai school students also filed complaints, claiming that there are students who have poor grades but were still allowed to enroll. This is because their parents donated around 300,000 baht to the school. The disgruntled parents urged the Education Ministry to establish a regulation for new student admissions so as to eliminate loopholes for bribery. Meanwhile, there are 13 schools that have increased their enrollment places for displaced Badindecha students. The parents of displaced students have to file their intention to enroll by tomorrow. Following the illegal discharge of wastewater by the Waste Recovery Management Company in Bangpoo Industrial Estate in Samut Prakan Province, the Commission of the Petroleum Institute of Thailand has ordered the local authorities to inspect the standard of wastewater treatment systems at 25 factories across the country to ensure that the effluent and chemicals from the factories does not contaminate freshwater resources. Virapong Chaiperm, Director of the Petroleum Institute of Thailand or PTIT, revealed that Waste Recovery Management Company in Bangpoo Industrial Estate in Samut Prakan Province, which dumped factory wastewater into freshwater resource in Samut Prakan Province, has already been charged by the authorities. He has also ordered the Department of Industrial Works to keep an eye on hazardous waste transportation companies to ensure that they operate in line with the regulations. Meanwhile, the PTIT is preparing to conduct an inspection of the standard of wastewater treatment systems at 25 factories across the country, and the outcome of the inspections will be made public within 7 days. The PTIT has already ordered the temporary closure of the Waste Recovery Management Company, and the company must improve their wastewater treatment system within 7 days. Additionally, the PTIT is preparing to seek government approval for a budget of 5.4 billion baht for construction of dams in six industrial estates such as Bang Chan, Bang Pli and Bangpoo. The government is starting to issue compensation payouts from a budget of 577 million baht to 524 victims of political violence. The Deputy Prime Minister insists that this spending does not need special legislation, as he believes it is accordance with the plans for national reconciliation. The government will spend a budget of approximately 577 million baht on the compensation of 524 political violence victims who were affected by the 2010 political unrest. The authorities have also divided the severity of political victims into 4 categories: deceased, disabled, severely injured, and slightly injured. Deputy Prime Minister Yonghyut Vichaydit indicated that it is the responsibility of the government to compensate the victims, and the measures for political victim compensation are similar to those used for the flood disaster cases. He also said that parliamentary approval through legislation is not necessary, as the payments are being made on a humanitarian basis. Meanwhile, opposition leader Abhisit Vejchajiva claimed that the government's compensation payouts are confusing, as some victims have already received financial compensation from the previous government. He is also suggesting that government and Thai Truth Commission should pay out the compensation monthly. He also pointed out that if the government compensates some victims too soon and cannot cover other victims, it might affect the reconciliation process. As for the victims of Southern insurgency violence, 5,000 people have already registered to receive the compensation packages. The authorities will consider who should be compensated and by how much on Monday, in line with the government's strategy. The recent decline in diesel prices has prompted the transport company to reduce the fares on all its bus routes by 2 stang per kilometer from tomorrow until August 25th. The Executive Board of the Transport Committee, or TCL, announced its decision to reduce transport fares on all bus routes by 2 stang per kilometer, following a downward trend in the diesel price, currently around 30 baht per liter. The new rate will go into effect for 3 months, starting tomorrow and last till August 25th. Still, the bus fares will remain unchanged until the transport company makes its official statement on May 31st. Passengers who use the bus service from tomorrow till May 31st, however, can redeem the price difference by showing proof of their tickets at any TCL office nationwide from June 1st onwards. The higher cooked food prices have prompted calls for a reduction in rental fees for food operators. However, the president of the Thai Shopping Center Association claims that rents cannot be reduced because the landlords also face greater costs. According to the Bureau of Trade and Economic Indices, food accounts for as much as 40% of the public's expenditure. Since the cabinet rejected the Commerce Ministry's proposal to add cooked food to its price control list, the ministry has been working on redrafting the details of its policy to alleviate the public concern over the rising cost of food prices. At present, the ministry is proposing to issue a list of recommended prices for selected dishes in lieu with direct price controls. Initially, these recommended prices will be imposed in the 7 provinces that have already increased in their minimum wage to 300 baht. At the same time, the Commerce Ministry has also assigned the Department of the Internal Trade to review food cost structures and supply chains. First, the department will investigate about 20 food products such as fresh vegetables, pork, chicken, eggs, fish, and palm oil. Profiteering by middlemen and ingredient prices will also be scrutinized. Meanwhile, regarding lowering rental fees for food operators, Narit Choikin, president of the Thai Shopping Center Association, indicated that its reductions cannot be achieved because landlords are also face high costs due to the upward adjustment in labor and electricity costs. All the landlords can do at present is to freeze the current rents and work with the food operator in selecting cheaper dishes to sell at between 20 to 35 bahts. And that wraps up tonight's edition of ThaiPBS English News Service. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Rungtip Chonapalai. Good night. สวัสดีค่ะ